little is known of the Champa dynasty that ruled much of what is now Vietnam. Sensuous sculptures of their gods have survived as testimony to this highly developed civilization. Their temples are now home to bats rather than kings, but against the odds, their descendants have lived on.
Cảm thấy trong lòng của mình nó rực lên, kiểu như là ở đây là kinh đô của người Chăm hồi xưa, là nguồn cội của mình.
The leaders of the Hindu dynasty which created these treasures longed for immortality, but over time they were defeated. New powerful regimes replaced them, but could not erase them altogether. This was the heart of the holy city of the Champa Kingdom from nearly 1600 years ago. The original wooden temples have long since disappeared, and these are the remnants of the dozens of red brick ones that the Champa people built up to the 13th century. They've been ravaged by wars, ancient and modern, and their treasures have been plundered. Now they're relying on an international rescue mission to stop them from sinking into the jungle. So there's still many things we have to find out about the Cham people.
Oh yes, many things. Also because the Cham study for a long time were quite neglected.
Heading an Italian archaeological team at Mission is Patrizia Zolesi. Worried that this rare vestige of ancient Vietnamese history was threatened, she helped persuade UNESCO to list it as World Heritage.
Very dangerous because there is no sustain to retain the weight of the roof. And slowly, part of the roofing is collapsing.
War and religion have always gone hand in hand here. The weathered ruins tell the story of the Cham kings, great traders profoundly influenced by the Indian civilization. For 900 years they ruled their own independent state, but they feuded constantly with their neighbours, the Vietnamese to the north and the Khmers to the south. Centuries on, the tranquility of this secluded valley masks a sinister danger.
Here the damage was a shell bomb during the American War in the '69.
During the Vietnam War, Mission was a hideout for the Viet Cong. They planted hundreds of landmines for kilometres around. The Americans repeatedly bombed the site, destroying Champa towers and antiquities more than 1,000 years old.
So this is where the bombing was?
This is the remains, yes. So this was the bomb, the crater.
Isn't it dangerous working here now when you don't know there could be other bombs here?
There are some bombs again. Just a few months ago, some bomb unexploded. So now the mines are still there, and we don't know exactly where they are. As UNESCO, many times we ask for help for the international community to help us to clean up this area. Because it's very dangerous.
The Vietnamese workers here are well aware of the dangers. During the only other archaeological dig here, a Polish expedition in the 80s, 12 locals were killed by explosives. The evidence is everywhere. Bomb craters and masonry pocked with shell and bullet holes. On display inside one of the towers is a B-52 bomb, a modern artefact vying for attention with the old. But it doesn't deter even the youngest of helpers in this huge rescue project.
How old is that?
This is it's the date 8th century. Yes, I mean it's 1,200 years ago. Yes, and the time they built their temple like the temples of India and Cambodia.
Yes.
Hyun Ti Duk is an expert on the Champa dynasty. helping to protect antiquities that have been removed from the site for safekeeping.
Yes, the sculpture here moved to the museum, and nowadays...
For 600 years, Maison lay almost forgotten until the 19th century. French archaeologists rediscovered the site and took the artefacts away because they were deteriorating and vulnerable to looting. They built a museum for them 70 kilometres away in Da Nang, where they are still held today.
This is the oldest room.
Yes, this is the oldest room. Yes, it's the oldest date of the Cham sculpture. Yes.
Here, the finest examples of Cham art have survived. Like the Mona Lisa, the Cham beauty, the graceful Tra-Ku dancer, flashes an enigmatic smile. Her beauty reflects the Hindu Javanese artistry of the 10th century.
Now this is amazing here. Tell me about this one.
Oh, this is the masterpiece of Cham art.
Now this one here, this is the king here, is that right? Just here?
Yes, this is king. This is king.
The artwork captures the sensuality of Cham culture. The power of creation is revealed through representations of male and female genitalia.
This lenga and zoni. Lenga is symbolizes the phallus, and the yoni is symbolized for a woman. It's men and women. And the Cham worship with and they with fertility, happiness from the lenga and yoni.
But even here in this supposed safe house, the treasures have not always been secure. Although the French cemented them into the walls, some were stolen. The museum was seconded during wartime, used by soldiers and refugees with little respect for the graven images. Now pollution from a city that is expanding rapidly is taking a new toll. This building is open to the elements, and damage to the artefacts is plainly visible. Security is, at best, rudimentary. No closed-circuit television here, just entertainment for the guards. But the Vietnamese are now accepting help from Australia and France to remove the sculptures from their concrete chains, restore them and install them in a new building.
A lift in the front.
The Cham treasures are on the move once more.
Okay, and one there. Yeah, that'll be much better.
Donna Hilton, a conservator with the New South Wales Art Gallery, is helping the Vietnamese rescue some artefacts left outside the museum.
Do you need to go much higher? You don't, do you? They know that they are getting stained by the lichen and you know, it's degrading the surface of the stone, so the carving is less clear now because of that. Great, okay, we're off.
For the past 7 years, Australia has been advising on conservation techniques.
They've got a layer of dirt on them, and that would be because of the open plan museum where you've got the traffic and everything. Some of them are starting to crack, and that is because of iron pins usually that have been put in perhaps in the 1920s, around that time, or the 30s, and these pins are starting to corrode now.
Once in danger of being forgotten, the future of the Mecca of Cham heritage is now much more secure. A direct descendant of the people who once lived here, Tran Chi Fung, is a trainee architect helping Japanese archaeologists stabilise a damaged tower.
Em rất vui khi được tới đây á. Tại vì đây là giống như mình trở về đây thì giống như mình thấy được cái nguồn cội của mình.
Phung comes from a Cham village in the south and is among an estimated 100,000 descendants of the Champa people in Vietnam.
Mà trong đây rất là nhiều ngôi đền mà mình cảm thấy sau đó mà thấy nhiều cái nó bị sạt lở thì càng thấy nó tiếc hơn.
Like sentries, crumbling towers watch over the main highway to the province of Ninh Thuan. This is the area where Phung comes from, once the kingdom of Panduranga. The people in this Cham village, Nhip, make their living from one of the ancient arts. It can take 3 days to weave one cloth, but the textiles are sought after internationally, so most of the women in the village spend their days at the loom.
Tuy làm nó chậm chạp không bằng cái máy móc, nhưng mà cái này nếu mà chúng tôi mà không có truyền lại cho thế hệ trẻ mà không có tiếp thu, có khi là văn hóa của người Chăm bị mất đi.
Phu Van Noy is one of the wealthiest in the village. He goes home from his shop for lunch every day to join his wife Thak and children. They live in the best house in the village, where the traditions of the past collide with the present. Thak started weaving at 15. She learned from her mother, who at 76 continues her craft.
Cũng như ông bà là truyền lại cha mẹ, rồi cha mẹ truyền lại cho con truyền lại.
At the local school, benign images of Uncle, the late Ho Chi Minh, attest to Vietnam's communist rulers. Yet in a country where ethnic minorities are often repressed, these children are allowed to learn about the ancient Cham rulers. They're speaking Sanskrit, the language of their ancestors, the language of Mison.
Nói chung chúng tôi thấy cái Hà Mỹ Sơn mà sau này chúng tôi cũng người Chăm là chúng tôi rất tự hào về cái đã khai thác được cái thánh địa Mỹ Sơn, mà trong đó UNESCO đã cũng công nhận là của thế giới. Chúng tôi rất tự hào, nhưng mà cái nói chung người Chăm chúng tôi ai cũng muốn đến đó để mà thăm lại cái thánh địa cũ của mình.
Nearly at the top here.
Yes, it's the highest point of Cham Kingdom.
It's overgrown now and hard to imagine what the temple on the top of the highest hill in Mison was like in its glory days. The Cham people would climb up here when they wanted to be closer to their gods.
And that's the holy mountain over there?
Yes, it's a holy mountain. The gods, the king can watch, can look the sunset.
The Cham kings may be long dead, but as their homes and treasures have new life breathed into them, their longing for immortality may not have been in vain after all.